Okay. Check one. There we go. Okay, if everyone could please make their way back to their seats. We're about to get started with our next presentation. All right, this next presentation is Elders Knowledge Highlighting Land-Based Ways of Teaching with Desta Baswa, Anne Fern Kakagemic, and Bella Pateash. And Bella's granddaughter, Thelma, is also here and she's going to be helping. Desta Baswa, North Spirit Lake member, teaching since 1985 in the NAN territory. Desta currently works at Kobe as an EPP liaison. Anna Fern Kakagemic is originally from Kiwewin First Nation, and she currently works at Kobe as a transition teacher coach. So please give a warm round of applause to Desta, Anne, Bella, and Thelma.
Thanks.
Is this mic key to get it muted?
Bonjour, Wachie, Desta Nadijna Kaz, North Spirit Lake Nadonji. Good morning, everyone. Myself, Anna Fern Kakagamic, and Bella Pateash are really happy to be here with you this morning, learning together and also sharing stories. You're going to have a fun-filled hour, and we're really grateful for the time block before lunch, so that if you want to ask our elder Bella questions following our session, you won't be rushed. You'll have time to do that. So our session today is, we'll go back to the title. Thanks. Sorry, we're just getting used to this clicker. There we go. Elders Knowledge Highlighting Land-Based Ways of Learning. So what you're going to hear today is a reflection of the Kiwetinook, Okamakanek First Nation communities. You're going to hear and see some examples of language and cultural programming that happens within Fort Severn, Deer Lake, Poplar Hill, McDowell Lake, North Spirit Lake, and Kiwewin First Nation. We're very grateful that Bella, as an elder from KI, is able to join us today. So we're very grateful for that. So we're going to, I'm going to invite Anna Fern up and Bella up to do introductions.
Okay, I'm in Bella Pateash Nation Kas. Agua Cinemex Big Nindoji. Agua Gaye Wawak Magni Gigabesh. About 20 years almost. Mimage Gaye Uchianti. Agua Wagawi Gawi to the Makuma Nigan Gayam Chiganja.
Hello, my name is Anna Fern Kakagamic, and I work as a transition teacher coach for our KO communities. So I work with the grade 8 teachers, 7 and 8 teachers, and grade 9 teachers, and then do presentations with students and preparing them for coming out for high school. So yeah, that's my role.
Okay, yeah. I was an elder at the DFC for so many years, from 2006 to 2020 lockdown. Then and now I'm just going wherever I'm invited to come and share. And I'm going to do an opening prayer first, like I always do. The verse that says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not unto your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and you shall direct your path. Yeah, that's the verse, my favorite verse. Man, that's how I go by. I got okay, let's pray. Lemando, she's okay, I'm not gonna go where. Gabisha kuma emadushka mina gabjepe anmod makunan kagminwain juziminya sawya gamatsis gonna gagi pagit naman sin tawag kin kaguna makik gonna kemstikol shikupik mina ktiganan kaknege kung gagi pagit naman nak mingat benchigain ego wenung gagi skag gabche eshipeme ayak minyaunik imojminya kunan gabstok gunan kiminyonan minwab matsun gabstok nakman magagabishak kna kabe wichwak wajan mut makwe anigashipeme kanen pshak Stawen magakna magawat gabishot kanas tamwat minagakna magawat kunwatiki Ausmegavjane Ewatsun Dagsun Kendamaun Wagin of Matsunak Minagani note. So I thank you, Heavenly Father, for everything that you have provided for us, everything that you have planted here on earth, trees, plants, and everything that we have, you have provided for our well-being. And we thank you for it. And we thank you for life and health to give us today. Bless everyone that's here, everyone that's teaching, and everyone that has a part, and those are attending to learn more. We have a bit of things we can present that will help someone's well-being. And we thank you for all things. Miigwech at bench gain knigagwan. Mishawan Sam Gaknama, which Kazonik in my chimney. Amen. Miigwech. Gotcha. So like what's the time? Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Elder Bella, for our opening prayer. We feel really, comforted knowing that our elder has all of our best interests at heart for this learning opportunity together today. So we acknowledge as Treaty 5 and Treaty 9 members that we are situated on the unceded traditional territories of Robinson Superior Treaty, and also Kichimigwech Nowindamawa Fort William First Nation for allowing us to learn together on their traditional territory. If I could ask Matthew to enlarge the link of the poster on the right there. So this FNMI EAO document, before engaging with Indigenous knowledge, really is the basis of how I do work within partner schools when I go in with KO elders and do work in those systems. So because often what happens is our partners, they really need guidance, just like I need guidance from my elders as to how to work with Indigenous education. And you and I, we know, Anna Fern is very good to remind me that we refer to this simply as our way of living. Right. So, but for educators that are in partner schools that ultimately some of your members will be going to, whether it is Lakehead Public Schools or Keewatin Patricia District School, or eventually colleges or universities, this is the document that I work teachers through to make sure that they understand that you are inviting in an elder or a knowledge keeper, a language holder, and their knowledge needs to be, there has to be preparation done. There's protocols that have to be done in advance. And this is for you as that teacher to be actively engaged in the learning process. Very often, and I've been a teacher since 1995, contrary to Shabastic trying to make me 62 and not 52. I started teaching in 1995 at Pelican, and I think today about partners, they have come so far to preparing themselves and their schools to honor the lived experience of our elders and knowledge keepers. But this document really is a good help to ensure that, and Matthew, you can just scroll to the bottom there of that document. People can read that at their leisure, but essentially it really does help people to know how to go through and how to prepare their learning space for elders. So I wanted to ask Bella to come and share her elders' perspective as to how teachers, how staff should prepare themselves for the learning that is taking place when she comes in. So Matthew, you can go back to that slide and I'll ask Bella to come now and to share. No, you can, or, oh yeah, you can use the mic.
Okay, I thought I was just coming here to do the medicine.
You are.
So, this perspective, how do we want to be treated when we go somewhere to present or to share? That's what that's what I'm gonna talk about a little bit, not much. Usually, when we meet someone or when someone approaches, we would like them to first of all introduce themselves, and we usually shake hands and waji. By the way, I didn't say waji to everyone when I started. Okay. And then mainly I usually want someone to speak to me in my language. Kashigisha. Like that's what I did at DFC. Every time I approach student, I talk to them in my language all the time. And then some will say, they look at me, they don't know what I'm saying. Then I know that they don't understand. And then I start to teach them a bit about language and what I do. I've been, I was teaching how to make arts and crafts, beading, make moccasins, mittens, hats, and anything that we make, art craft stuff, arts and crafts. And then I usually want them to try and speak to me in my language. That's what I would like. That's why I was speaking in my language first of all. I'm uncomfortable speaking in English because that's not my first language. No, it's Danish, Nimanga, Kagagidyan, Kagish, Kishan, Bukan, Taugan, Kagip, Opigan. That's how I was born to speak my language and to grow up with it. I lived mainly with my grandparents. Like I learned a lot from my grandparents, teaching me how to survive. We were like out in the wild, I mean, in the traditional area most of the time. Hardly ever in town. Mrs. Magaj can manganin how to do things, how to survive. I wish waga umaga kamajidyak kids we check notes just like they did here. I think the person that helped us set up there, and that's how you treat your elders. Jawawi Shayak. Yeah, but kind of disappointed this morning about about the we've been used the room close by here, and last minute you were told can't use that room. That is disappointing and dishonor to the elders. We should to honor them and respect them when you see them, at all times help them like lift stuff. That's what my granddaughter does for me all the time. At my age, it's hard to open jars or open stuff and some doors or lift things and all that. And someone beside me that's always helping me to do that. Yeah, a lot of things I can't do now at my age. But I'm not going to tell you my age. Some kids ask me, "How old are you?" Very old. Yeah. And I'm going to be talking about traditional medicine, mashkiki. God's minyak, mashkiki kag minwak, oh God benchigan. Our creator gave us everything. He might give to minyak how to get well. Wishing God be done he napakadago, it's called cedar. My community, KI, cedar doesn't grow there. But at our traditional land, our trap line, there was cedar there because that was like past close to Manitoba area, our trap line, Sachigo River. We had cedar there, and then my mom used to call it napagadak. So that's what I'm calling it, napagadak. I don't know how Ojibwe call it or other people, but everybody does things different, and they know they have different medicines growing in different regions. And I have also have Labrador tea. I brought Labrador tea. I had that thing in the black. Okay, I just brought a branch, one branch from each. I have this is the cedar. I got a branch here, one branch. And I got the Labrador tea. It looks like this. I know most of you know it, but some people don't. So, and I just when I prepared, I just take these off, just the leaves. That's what I have in the pot there. And with cedar, I have when you go harvest cedar, it's better to do it like in the fall. We went and harvested like during what's that, Labor Day? Labor Day. Me and her and my other family members, we had lots because we had sent some up north too. They didn't have any over there when that COVID was around. Just helped us. I didn't get the flu shot, so I just lived off of what the Lord had provided for me to for medicine. That's what I used. Okay, I used scissors to cut it off, cut the branches off. I just do this one branch. I mean, like this. And then you boil these ones here. The leaves. This is what I have in the pot there. You're going to start to smell it. What the cedar does is you during that time a lot of people ask me for this when they're really sick with COVID, and I gave it to them. I go there and give it to them. Sometimes I just make it at home and go give them and I put it in a jar. And they're really sick, and then they said that helped them. So that's how I know it's really does work. And at home, if somebody has a cold, I just boil it like that, the steam. Sometimes I just go like this. If you have congestion or if you have no sinus, just go inhale that. And when you boil it long, it goes all over the room. And sometimes someone would pop in, they had a really bad cold and cough. And I just boiled that because we didn't want to catch that person's cold. And plus that person would just stop coughing and get better. So this help. And Labrador tea. The Labrador tea, it helps with the colds too. Oh yeah, something I forgot to mention, the cedar. Somebody told me, I mean, somebody said, well, we gotta learn from each other. So somebody said, if someone has a kidney problem, they can't drink this. Yeah. So I don't give it to people that have kidney problems or dialysis. But if I give it to them, I'll just recommend just to rinse him out your throat and spit it back out. That will help your throat if you have sore throat. Just don't swallow it. That's what I tell them, don't swallow, just rinse your mouth and throat and then spit it out. And the Labrador tea helps with the headaches too. Mostly headaches and a lot of other ailments like when you have a cold, sore throat. And it tastes good. Yeah, it does taste good. I could just live on that only. Yeah, I don't like. I mean, I had too much in there. I was just going to mention a couple more medicines that are really good for. No, just in the black bag. Where's the black bag? Oh, and I will get. No, I thought I put it in there. I run out of weak cash. I guess most people know weak cash. There's weak cash. Some people call it rat root, but we call it bitter root. You find this at the river, by a river, by the shore of the river. And you harvest this in the summer, during the summer. And they help if you have a toothache, you can just chew on this. I mean, put it where you have a toothache. That helps. I'm not going to take long here. And another thing is chaga. There's chaga. I just got a little piece here. I'll just put them out here after you can look at them. Okay, and once that thing's ready, almost. If anybody wants to try some, we can give it to you. And then we can. Okay, about I'm going to talk about the gifts now. We usually get the gifts at the Hague after the workshops. And what I want to mention is when you give gifts to the elders, consider their what they do, and like some people don't really want to get tobacco. They rather have something else. You have to consider their beliefs too. And what they do, like if they do beading or sewing, it might be something like that you can give. Or if they're just know a little bit about their background and give gifts according to it. They would like maybe something that was sewing, or if they were scarves, you give them scarf and things like that. Yeah, the simple things. At my age too, when you get to be my age, you don't really want to have stuff. You try and get rid of stuff as much as you can. So that's why we don't really want stuff that will just sit around. Something that we can use like right away. That's the best thing. Yeah. And at our age, we don't really like to collect stuff and just let stuff pile up and sit. Yeah. Okay, okay, I did the mashki already, so we're gonna do the closing prayer after you.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Miigwech. Okay, I can't stress enough how uncomfortable that was for our Chia Bella to instruct you as to how to receive elders. You know, your elders do not want to tell you how to properly care for them, but she did that. She stepped out of her comfort zone for your benefit. You know, I can't say enough about gifts for elders. I'm sorry, but your elders probably don't need another mug with your logo on it, and they probably don't need another blanket on top of their piles and piles of blankets. And they really do need to be honored for their time. So if you have no issues paying a lawyer X amount of dollars an hour to give you legal advice, I don't know why we are not giving that same care and concern for our elders that have a life of knowledge to share with us. So miigwech Bella for sharing on that. I want to quickly just talk about this Mushkaki one corner. Mushkaki corner is what it's shown on the slide. So in the early part of this year, I was wanting to deliver PD, have two elders deliver PD to teachers. And they said, we want a workshop on traditional medicines. And I said, okay. So we did exactly what Bella said. We had a translator who talked with Bella. And in this case, it's Rebecca McKay. You see their picture at the bottom there. And they taught these teachers about traditional medicines. And you're going to hear me reference reciprocity throughout the workshop, because I'm really big on, okay, you have received this knowledge. Now, what are you going to do with it? Because it's not meant for us just to keep it. And so this particular group of teachers, I said to them, imagine this. Imagine we would have a Mushkaki corner in every one of your classrooms. Imagine we normalize for our students that their medicines are in their backyards, they're at their family trap lines, they're across the creek, they're up the hill. Imagine we do that. Imagine we create a corner and we teach the students all the way through their education. So by the time they are done grade 12, they know how to care for themselves in different situations and others. So I'm so happy to say that particular school partner is going to do that. They're rolling that out in the fall across their classrooms, and you're going to see this, that it's going to be normal for students to say, my medicine is in my territory. So I am really grateful for that. So we'll go to the next slide and welcome Anna Fern up.
So this is the Indigenous Worldview Calendar, and some of you have copies of it on your table. If you need more, we do have more up front. So one of our community schools really uses this in their school. Like you could see, they made like a bigger version, and then they have it on their wall. Well, it's actually on a big window, and then you could see how they're planning. Whether it's language, whether it's spec ed, native language, cultural activities are often put in this type of format where it's circular and it's not linear. And so this was initially started by Anna Marie Kakagamek, and I'm going to ask her to come up because she did this activity with several of the community members. And at the time she was working with Kobe. And we had Doreen Ray come out to one of our summit conferences and present this to a lot of the teachers. And lo and behold, we found out it was Anna Marie that kind of initiated this. So I'll give her a brief time to talk about this.
Waja kakina anin maj kain naman dan ma epijan komina ke gunjagan unshus kan go some shot ma bangina jikatwak eko waja nandaman hiwa eko naman dan mob na guk kakino ma nanda kan stona magaya yek so back in 15 and 16 in those years, I was Moby indigenous lead in the territory. So within that time, I developed a language and culture program with the communities. And what we did was we initiated the calendar, and it was directed by the elders. So what we did within that piece is I began reaching out to the communities and started creating a teacher learning community, and TLC is what we call it. So because the communities had different practices and protocols and activities, traditional activities that happen in the communities, I wanted to make it a template where they can adopt and make adaptations within that template. So you see, this is Deer Lakes, and you see that there's 6 seasons initially. So on your table you have the template as well, a draft. So initially there's 6 seasons on there. What I did with the teachers is I give them a kind of like a directive or an outcome, what could be in place during a certain time of the season, and the things that they could do with the students in their classes, and also initiating that contact and outreach with the communities. So over here you see Deer Lakes a template as well. Me and we know I got with that at Kusaganing Kayawach and Chinwag. Eko hawat kakinamaga chima we end up mentioning you and eko men send you and we know abuga to start you and what which we can wa you and maka tamwachima is kundakanima iman shinwag me and up mention waja kama ino tingini sana panwa to takikang with ahenga washaho eko binagya ahenga popular hell gaminagi with aheng North Spirit king is happen kina ugusto na hiwa na mayak na kon skewi na wa yun nga gusto at mamaya ka na kung dapat papakan tutsaka ta hima kaya government siya kata kan hima tasih kyoning me kinawaga to in the man here. So every community KO school has a different calendar, so we wanted to respect that, what they do in their traditions and the protocols, and also the way they do things in their communities. You and Shnabla so and me on Bangi onje the Bajimian. Me batch.
All right, so when we seen this one, just a minute, when we seen this calendar in the community, and this is specific to Deer Lake, whoops, sorry. Don't mean to do that. So what we did was create just the blank one, and that's what you see on your desk. And then like we were gonna do an activity where we were gonna divide you into groups and then within regions, make your own. But since we 130 of you, I was like, yeah, we have to rethink that. So I just left the copies, and that's for you to adapt that little framework. And as you can see, like from Deer Lake, some of those activities overlap into seasons. And so it's really up to you how, based on your region, what activities you do, like whether it's like medicines, whether it's mitten making, whether it's working with birch bark and harvesting, like those are different things, activities, and then you can fill in your own calendar for the school year. And so that's what Desta is going to go talk about a little bit more. She has a culture kit that she's going to be introducing, and then Desta, you can go ahead.
Okay, Anna Fern is going to put the slide on this culture kit. So essentially, over here, you are welcome at the end of the workshop to come take a look at this Kobe cultural kit. Essentially, I've created a visual representation for you of Deer Lake's worldview calendar. And it goes through and it showcases KO artisans' work, as well as some other communities' work. And these are activities that I have been able to do with partner schools within the area. So we see here the Flying Friends in October. And then going on from there, you see some of the beading kits, the beading activities that have taken place. You see fish netting supplies. You see snowshoes. You see the Minchkawanan. Anna Fern made these beauties. You see the little hand mittens. And then you go on, you see the Flying Friends, you see the Duckabazin, you see the birch bark cradle board. This is a good time to go out and harvest your birch. You see the traditional medicines. You see my brand new teapot I just bought. It'll be the last time it'll ever look that clean. Yeah, you see Abe Kakapetum and Carl Ray's legend stories. And then you see some medicines. This was made from Fort Severn, a young member there. She's 15 years old. And she knows how to harvest her polar bear from Fort Severn, and she knows how to prepare and work with that because her Gukam taught her that. Another pair of earrings from Deer Lake, another young person, this smoked hand hide showing you again that moose season, the moose skins will be kept, the furs will be kept, and then they'll be processed. So what I want to say about this way of life, this visual representation is this. When I was in one of the KO communities, I said to the principal, imagine this. Imagine you have your own way of life library or a kit or it's on display in your school so that your young people do not forget how to make their own tools. Your young people do not forget how to capture and represent their own designs from their region. Imagine this. So they looked at me and they said, okay, no one has ever asked us to do that before. And I said, if you don't do it, who is going to do it? This has to start in your community. You know all of the people in your community that can create a representation of your way of living. So this kit here is KO specific. A representation. Like I was so fortunate in one of the partner schools, I had Levius Miles, he's a counselor in Fort Severn. He came and made tamarack birds with the students, and the students, they loved it. And every time I go create learning opportunities with elders and knowledge keepers in partner schools, the students are so engaged. You know that, I know that. And that's why I brought this here today, is because I'm looking at all of you and I'm saying, imagine your community creates your own cultural, your way of life kit, but that it's actually in use. It's not like a museum, because we are still here and we are still doing these activities, but that it is there. Someone is starting to collect it. So I want to thank Anna Marie for starting those conversations with the language teachers and the knowledge keepers in the elders in the KO communities a number of years ago, because from there it has continued going. Miigwech. Okay, so I really want to give you, we're gonna go for it, Anna Fern. We're gonna give them 5 minutes to talk at their tables, because the resource Anna Fern gave you, it's a start. We know we don't have enough time here for you to extensively develop your own worldview, resource, but you can start. So we're gonna put on the timer. And we're giving you 5 minutes to have those conversations around your table. Ginstam, it's your turn. You want to talk to this? Just we can wrap that up and then I'll go to here. Yes. Love the conversation. My ears hearing people talk. Take a picture of this, Bella.
Yeah, take some pictures.
Bella, you're cool. Can I take a picture of you in there too? Where, with this? Where you're sitting? Okay, I just want to get you in there. There.
Oh, there.
They're gonna say, how come Bella wasn't smiling at you? All right, here, Bella, smile. Awesome. That's all. Yeah. No, you want to pour it? Yeah. When you go in part of it, so that's what myself remember. My dad, older age, what's his name? Okay, 30 seconds. Or maybe we can put it back there.
Hello, everybody. Your 5 minutes is up, but I just wanted to let you know if you want a larger copy, I have these ones as well. I'll just leave them here at the front table and you can come and grab one. Because I just find that it's a bigger visual when you start writing on it. And Dester, I think she's going to be introducing some of our resources. I'm gonna change this.
Okay, Miigwech. Can I just ask people, maybe let's get 5 people around the room. What is one activity that you had never thought of that was mentioned at your table? If you can just be brave enough just to stand up and give us your best teacher voice for one activity your group discussed that you hadn't thought of before. I'm looking at the gentleman in the back with a green hat. I'm thinking you would be a good one. Yes.
Sorry. And it's opener this weekend for pickerel. So it's, as a fisherman, this resonates a lot with me. I teach outdoor. What class I start in the September. So what activities are we doing in September? Which ones are we doing in November?
Yeah.
And so looking at that, those two things between fishing and just what activities I'm doing with my students, those are two things that resonate with myself. Thank you.
Okay, Miigwech. I love the idea of smelt fishing too. I've never done that before either. My husband's from Manitoulin area and he always talks about smelt fishing this time of year, missing home. Okay, another person, another brave person, just stand up and share an idea at your table that you thought that is super cool. We should do this. Imagine. Okay. Yeah.
So, our school board did a lot of traveling with other classes.
Yeah.
Europe. And some of our students. It's okay. Some of our students had asked, gathering of First Nations just happened. Could we go there? Could we organize a trip for our students, to celebrate our culture and our ceremonies with the biggest powwow in the world? Like, classes go to Europe, they go to New York, they go all over the place celebrating their whatever, right?
I love that idea. We have students today from some of the KO communities that are going to Fort Severn to go. They'll be in a goose blind by 1 o'clock, I'm sure. And I told the students, you are so lucky. Like, you get to go to Fort Severn during a spring hunt. Are you kidding me? That will be the best trip of a lifetime. Like, I'm sorry, who needs New York City when you could go to Fort Severn and be in the goose blind? Okay, looking for back here, this table, Ikwewak back there. Can I have one? Yep. Stand up, stand up.
But, jeez. I'm from Lake Helen Reserve. I work with adult treatment, and we started our program it opened the door in June, and we fell into the circle of where do we start?
And it just automatically happened that I was the cultural person, and I decided I would work with the seasons according to what I do. So I appreciated everything you have on the table. I follow that pattern, but I also teach and talk about the 12 steps and sobriety, and also an international program that's called Wellbriety. And it was brought in from Wisconsin, from Don Coyhus, who was a substance user, abuser, and went through profile characteristics of that suffering and pain, and came to the world of sobriety and wrote a book about it. And so I utilize some of his teachings, because we have native code of ethics,
Yeah.
we have native 12-step programs, and all the cultural teachings that we have learned traditionally in our lifestyles. We respect each other's areas because they come from Western provinces like Saskatchewan. We've had in Nunavut, we've had out from Quebec, and southern parts of Ontario come in. So I have to respect everyone's background, culture, that we have some generic information that's across the board for all of us.
Yeah.
An example is the medicine wheel. My wheel starts in the spring with the yellow on the eastern doorway.
Yeah.
Some territories started backwards. They've got red door there. So I have to respect and accept everyone's differences, and that we all learn from one another,
Yes.
no matter what our titles and our positions are in our communities. So we are brothers and sisters, and we share and practice amongst each other.
Yeah.
And I have a lovely representative over here who works with the youth program and is out doing similar works alongside myself.
That's awesome.
I want to talk about this group here, though. They had an interesting one. They're from Fort Albany, Mushkegowuk, I guess, treaty area.
Yep.
And they had worked with the Four Seasons, but they also, like, for instance, May to July, summer.
Yeah.
Okay. Or August to November, fall. But they also had two extra seasons. We didn't have time to share what they have included in there, but one of them was called Blooming of the Earth. So they have two extra seasons, and Blooming of the Earth comes in months of May to June. And I asked this lovely lady here who's at we're learning each other. I said, tell me something about what you do there. So I think she's going to do it. Okay, where's that?
Okay.
Oh,
Or maybe
Okay.
we can go ask the table at lunch.
Miigwech.
Yes, thank you. Okay, all right, last one, and then we need to wrap up. Okay.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jojo. I just wanted to share that if you Google Innovation in Education Program, it's a program that supports innovative programs and projects which aim to improve outcomes for First Nation communities, schools, and students, and it's through the Government of Canada.
Okay, thank you, Jojo. Okay, so we're going to turn to our resource list, and I want to play one video for you from a knowledge keeper, a hunter, trapper, fisherman, Brandon Ray from North Spirit Lake. And he is going to give you an example of teaching that he does with the young people in Victoria Linklater Memorial School, as well as KIHS. And this particular video we did, we also had taken the students partridge hunting, and he also did the teaching about the how to make a little baby rattle out of the, go ahead, Matthew. Oh, yeah, out of the partridge. That was very cool.
My name is Brandon Ray from North Spirit Lake First Nation. I am hunter, trapper, harvester here in the Treaty 5 territory. How to make a snare. So you want to cut it to length. Everybody makes them differently. Personally, I like to go from the inside of my elbow. When making your loop for your rabbit snare, you want it about the size of your palm, because the rabbit's head isn't very big. So you would make your snare like this. So you go to where your rabbit trail is, and you anchor this to a branch or a tree, or wherever. And a lot of people, when snaring, they will rub their snare wire on any of the trees that are in the area that you're snaring, so that you don't get the brass scent left on the snare wire. When I set a snare, I usually have one branch that's strong enough so when the rabbit comes through, it'll keep it in place, and he'll get stuck here and he'll bounce around. And once it gets cold, the stick will be stuck in the ground like it's grown in. You want to make a gate, so when the rabbit comes, there's not a big open space here for him to run around this way, go back through this way. It kind of guides him into where you have your snare, so it doesn't miss. We also put the chin lifter underneath the snare, so that when the rabbit is come running through, he sees it and he'll lift his chin up into the snare. You want to check your snares every day, preferably early morning before all the daylight animals are out and about. This is a bundle of snare wire that people use when they go rabbit snaring. It consists of a piece of rope, small rope, and with knots in there that have your snare wire attached. And people wear this. Some will wear it over the shoulder when they're walking in the woods, so that it's easy to pull out when you're setting your snare. Another style that I use actually is just a bundled snare wire. Nothing really different. It's just that I have no rope tied on. This I roll up, oftentimes into the shape of the loop, so that when I put it together, it'll automatically spring to the size of the snare, the loop. In recent years, we've noticed a decline in the rabbit activity in the area. We used to get rabbits in the community just in front of the school here near teacherages, and but in recent years, since all the advances of like the industry, one example would be the hydroline project that's come through, and it's where rabbit used to live. And all the people that used to snare rabbits that would walk up in the woods are having trouble snaring rabbits because they're not there anymore. All the land clearing that's going on with the hydroline project affects snaring rabbits and harvesting rabbits. Thanks for watching the video. Listening to my style of rabbit snaring. Everyone has their own styles. And this is only one style of snaring in all of Canada.
Brandon Ray said something really profound to me when we were there in February. He said, I had brought some partners, Anna Fern and I, into North Spirit Lake to talk about high school options. And Brandon Ray said, I attended 5 different high schools before I got my high school diploma. And he said, imagine if the first high school I had attended honored my desire to be out on the land, to hunt, to trap, to fish. Maybe I wouldn't have gone to 5 different high schools if they had done that. And I thought that was amazing, and we'll just pull up the slide. And I would like to go to the next page. Those links are all amazing. There's so many great videos. Anna Fern did a fantastic video there on how to make, was it mittens, Anna Fern? Yeah, mittens. Other members taught how to make moccasins, how to make lanyards, earrings. It just goes on, and they're all open on YouTube. So last slide. Okay, so when we talk about this, respect, rights, reciprocity, and responsibility, these are some key reflections I'd like to challenge you to take away and consider in those quiet times. You know, like Shabastik said, hopefully we all find some quiet times in the days ahead out on the land. These are some of the reflections I'd like you to think about. I'd like you to consider I'd like you to consider Elder George Sakany's words, where he talked about how to treat the trees right. I don't know about you, but man, I just thought about that all night long, about how our more than human relations, you know, the trees, the fish, etc., that they all have rights as well. And that's part of our relationship with them, to ensure that we are, you know, living and interacting in good ways. So I would like to really just challenge you to think on some of these reflections. And certainly the final challenge would be looking at that reciprocity piece. Now that you have been gifted so much knowledge from the speakers from yesterday and prior to us coming up as well, you've been gifted so much knowledge. Now, now what? What are you going to do with that now? How are you going to go back and co-learn with members of your community to ensure that you are in good relationship with people? So I really look forward to next slide, Jennifer. Really look forward to someday soon you'll bump into Elder Bella. Probably she's outpacing you in the bush, even though she says she moves slower. I saw her in the hallway. She still moves very fast. And so someday, hopefully you bump into Elder Bella out in the berry patch, or you see Anna Fern or myself, and you share with us, you know, I thought about that. I thought about some of those things that the elders shared at the NAN conference, and my practice and my work has been changed because of it. So at this time, I'd like to welcome up Elder Bella to do a closing prayer. And on behalf of Anna Fern and Bella and I, we want to thank you for letting us learn alongside you all. And please come see us at lunch. And Elder's going to explain the process for medicine over here, how she wants you to come up and be blessed.
First of all, I want to thank those people that came up to give me gifts. I thank you, and may the Creator, Lord, bless you. And the cedar is already in below cups. If you want to come and grab it after, I'll just do a closing prayer first. And there's honey if you want to put honey in it. I didn't bring honey. Sometimes I mix honey in there. Okay, okay, let's stand. We're going to do a closing prayer for this this hour, I mean, this session. Our Creator, God, we thank you for this time that we can come together and learn from each other. Nakmangat Benchkin, Gashaminshak, Chikadamakevon, Minano Dakson, Chujemiak, with the Magyakevon. And also we thank you, Lord, for all the resources, Minogak Tudmak, these things that are presented to us. And Akuman, I thank you. And also I want to remember this time the DFC graduation today that's taking place. I pray that you bless their time, and also all the students that are graduating, and all the workers there and the staff. And pray that you'll keep them safe as they go on from here to to have a safe trip home and to be safe during the time that they're home. And I pray for that organization to continue going well. And again, and also this gathering the rest of the day. To bless this medicine, this plants and trees that you have given us for our healing and for our well-being. I just pray that you bless it to our lives and to make us well. And we thank you for it. We thank you for all things, everything, and bless each one that's here. In the name of our Lord and Savior. Amen. Okay, I guess. Almost took your phone.
While Shabastik's coming up, I want to point out one of the KO members, David Miles from Fort Severn, who designed the banner logo for NAN to use. So, you know, like our young people are just so amazing. They're so awesome. So a big shout out to my fellow tribal council member, David Miles.
Yes, make a lot of noise for that. That was really, really awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you, ladies, so much. So we're gonna get right into lunch now. We're gonna be back at 1:30. Sorry, at 12:30. I just want to say really quickly, the thing that was mentioned about the rabbits. That's across the board right now. Rabbits and partridge and those kind of animals and lynx and the predators are on a cycle. But it's usually around 7 years, you know, like there'll be a lot of rabbits. And so the predators just have lots to eat. The predator population will grow and grow and grow until they wipe out everything. And that's what's happened right now. There's no partridge or rabbits. They're really hard to find all across. And I've been all across on Northern Ontario hunting. I was just back in my traditional territory where normally we float down the river and there's partridge drumming everywhere. We didn't hear a single one until we got to this one island, you know. So they will be back. The rabbits will be back. So let's take our lunch.